For over a century, the Panama Canal has been one of the most vital arteries of global trade, a shortcut between the Atlantic and Pacific that saves weeks of travel and untold billions in shipping costs. But what if there were something even more ambitious? A canal, wider, deeper, and longer, slicing through the landmass of Nicaragua. It almost happened. And the story behind it? It's a roller coaster of colonial ambitions, Cold War plans, environmental debates, and a mysterious Chinese billionaire. Today, we follow the winding path of the Nicaragua Canal, a $50 billion mega project that has tempted empires, seduced investors, and collapsed in dramatic fashion. To understand why a Nicaraguan canal was ever considered, we have to look at the Panama Canal, the gold standard of interoceanic shortcuts. Before its completion in 1914, the fastest way for a ship to travel from the Atlantic to the Pacific was to sail all the way around South America, through the Strait of Magellan, a passage notorious for violent storms, freezing temperatures, and unpredictable currents. It was risky, time-consuming, and often deadly. So when the Panama Canal opened, it changed everything. A 50-mile cut through Central America suddenly allowed ships to move between oceans in just a few hours. More than 10,000 vessels use it every year. Together, they move over 500 million tons of cargo. But with great success comes new problems. Today, global trade has outgrown the Panama Canal's original design. It was built for ships of another era. Modern mega-container ships, some longer than 4 football fields, simply don't fit. Even with recent expansions, the canal's capacity is stretched thin. Some vessels are forced to wait days, even weeks, just to get through. So the question emerged again, is it time for an alternative route? That's where Nicaragua enters the story. Surprisingly, the idea of a canal through Nicaragua isn't new. In fact, it predates the Panama Canal by nearly 400 years. In the 1500s, when Spain ruled much of the Americas, they dreamed of connecting the oceans. Spanish explorers mapped out possible routes, one through Panama, another through Nicaragua. But the technology and funding weren't there. So for centuries, silver and gold from Peru had to be transported by mules and ships in a long, treacherous overland system. By the early 1800s, as colonial empires crumbled, new nations formed. One of them, the Federal Republic of Central America, revived the canal dream. They hoped a Nicaraguan canal could turn them into a new global trade hub. They even asked the United States to help finance it. But America was hesitant. The region was politically unstable, and soon after, the Republic fell apart into smaller nations, Nicaragua among them. Yet even then, the canal dream didn't die. In the late 1800s, the U.S. was actively considering where to build its interoceanic canal. The Nicaraguan route had clear advantages. It was longer, yes, but flatter. It followed Lake Nicaragua in the San Juan River, requiring less digging. And most importantly, it was closer to the U.S. mainland, saving shipping time. In fact, Congress was leaning toward Nicaragua until a volcano changed everything. In 1902, a French lobbying campaign sent out pamphlets and newspaper stories about volcanic eruptions near the proposed Nicaraguan route. Scared of geological risks, the U.S. switched sides and bought into France's failed project in Panama instead. The Panama Canal opened in 1914, and Nicaragua, once again, left behind. By the 1960s, during the height of the Cold War, Nicaragua's canal dream took a bizarre turn. As part of a program called Operation Plowshare, U.S. scientists considered using nuclear bombs to dig a canal. Yes, literally nuking their way across Nicaragua. The logic? It would be 10 times cheaper than conventional excavation. But nuclear excavation, shockingly, never took off. And once again, the project was shelved. Over the decades, other nations flirted with the idea. Russia, the United Arab Emirates, and a few private investors. All backed out. Too expensive, too risky, too uncertain. until a new name appeared. In 2012, a little-known Chinese telecom tycoon named Wang Jing suddenly emerged with a massive announcement. He had struck a deal with the Nicaraguan government to build a brand new canal, one that would rival and even outperform the Panama Canal. His company, HKND Group, proposed a 278-kilometer route across the country, longer than Panama's canal and deep enough for the world's largest ships. It would pass through forests, farmland, and the massive Lake Nicaragua. Estimated cost, $50 billion. Estimated jobs created, 50,000. Estimated completion time, 5 years. Nicaragua's government celebrated. Wang Jing hosted a grand groundbreaking ceremony in 2014. But there were serious red flags. Wang Jing had no experience in mega infrastructure. There was little transparency on where the money was coming from. And rumors swirled. Was he backed by the Chinese government? He denied it. Meanwhile, across Nicaragua, the backlash began. Thousands protested the route. It would cut through rural communities, displacing entire families. Environmentalists warned of destruction to pristine rainforests and the country's main source of fresh water. Then came the final blow. In 2015, Wang Jing lost $9 billion in a Chinese stock market crash. He claimed the canal project was still alive. But it wasn't. Construction stopped. HKND disappeared. The office was vacated. Their website went dark. Years passed. Silence, no progress. Then in 2024, the Nicaraguan government officially cut ties with Wang Jing. But rather than abandon the idea, they launched a new initiative. The Grand Canal Authority, a team of government officials assigned to explore new options. A canal through Nicaragua remains a tantalizing possibility, shorter than Panama, potentially more efficient, and more relevant than ever in a world that runs on global shipping. But the obstacles remain enormous. For over 500 years, people have dreamed of connecting the Atlantic and Pacific through Nicaragua. Empires imagined it. Presidents debated it. Investors attempted it. But so far, no one has succeeded. Will the Nicaragua Canal ever become reality? Or is it destined to remain one of history's most persistent what-ifs? One thing is clear. While the latest attempt to build the Nicaragua Canal may have collapsed, the geopolitical interest it sparked hasn't disappeared. China's Belt and Road Initiative has already poured billions into ports, railways, and maritime infrastructure across Latin America. And Nicaragua, strategically positioned between two oceans, remains a tempting asset. Whether through state-owned companies or private proxies, Beijing has made it clear. Controlling a second interoceanic canal isn't just about trade, it's about influence, security, and global leverage. So while the canal may still be a dream for now, it's a dream some of the world's most powerful players are quietly watching and patiently waiting to control.